Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together in a big welcome for Allo Greer.
10 years ago, my mom and I and a friend of hers, we went to Martha's Vineyard. We went to Edgartown to do some walking around and some shopping. There was also another woman with us, and she had just turned 50 that year. And I got some things, and I know she got some stuff too. I can't really remember what it was that she bought, but I do remember that my mother's friend had some feelings about it. She had a sense of disapproval. I don't know where that was coming from, but it stuck with me because the next year I would be turning 50. And for my 50th birthday, I was thinking, how prepared am I for this 50 thing? The idea that there were rules to being 50, and I didn't know what they were. I liked taking pictures, and I joined Instagram, and I think I was about 52 at the time. And I posted periodically, but then I found out that I could have my phone act as a remote and to operate my camera. So they made it real easy for me to take pictures of myself by myself. And about 56, I think it was 56, I turned the camera on to myself and I began to explore what I looked like. I was collecting pieces from artists, artisans, and independent designers, and I liked going to trunk shows and art fairs and art festivals. And I found that I liked putting things together, and it seemed like I had a knack for it. And I was exploring how things came together for me, and I liked showcasing their work. And it was fun for me. Well, I felt like I was documenting my developing style. And I had a sense that I was inventing or discovering this Allo that was daring. Well, I talked to my mom, and she had spoken to her friend. In fact, it was the same friend that went to Martha's Vineyard with us. And she said, "Is Allo okay?" And I started to think, well, why did she say that? I was moving in this space of discovery and coming to be me and having fun, and it felt like all that was wrong. Now, that's not what she said, but that's how I received it. And I started to think, well, what does she see that's prompting that question? You know, at the time I had locks, and I dyed them several shades of green and teal, and I really liked blue lip color. And I didn't really take into account, how she felt at the age that I was. I started to think, well, when she became 50 was a different time than when I was turning 50. And when she was born, it was in the 30s, and Jim Crow was going on. And when she was becoming a woman, it was at the beginning, well, before the beginning of when the civil rights movement started to rev up. And, there were rules of of dress and personal expression. And I really didn't take that into account, but the comment or the question at the time, I sort of laughed it off. And I started to think, okay, there's this space that she's in that I'm trying to understand, and there's this energy that I was giving away to one person's comment. And meantime, there's people in the city that are telling me, you know, I want to be like you when I grow up, and you look fabulous, you look great, and I'm receiving this, and I'm having a ball on Instagram, and I'm getting comments, and I'm responding to those comments, and I feel like I'm stepping into a community of women that are nurturing and are receiving what I'm doing. There's a woman named Cassie Rafferty, and she's from Australia, and she reaches out to me, and she's starting a women's magazine for women of a certain age. And she asked me if I'd be interested in being in the style section. I was like, wait, what? I mean, Australia is a pretty big country, and they've got to have a lot of women who would be interested in doing this, but she reaches out to me, and I say, oh, yeah, I like that. And I think she likes my, the energy that I have on my post, and she sees that I'm having fun, and it's something that's coming across to her. So I'm really trying to go into my mind, and what about what I'm wearing catches her attention, or what I'm doing on Instagram catches her attention. And there are some people who believe, some people who are close to me believe that I do have a lot of clothes. And my closet is pretty healthy. There are some pieces that I really like, and they're silk skirts. And they're beautiful, and they're full, and they come in these rich jewel colors, like lime green, and the orange is electric, like the royal blue, and the fuchsia is amazing. And they're made out of taffeta, which has that soft, crunchy, swishy sound it makes when you move. And it sort of begs to have a petticoat underneath, and I have a bunch of those too, in different colors. And I like the way the petticoats kind of peek underneath the skirts, where these pieces are made by Sophistafunk, the skirt company, and Arlinda McIntosh is the designer and the woman behind all this, and she's in New Jersey, and she is loving how I'm styling her pieces. And it's fun, and we become friends. Well, I know that Arlinda has been photographed more than once by Ari. And Ari Seth Cohen is a photographer who's been photographing older women on the streets of New York for about 10 years. And he is the brains behind Advanced Style. So he's got, a blog, a couple books, and a documentary showing these older women living really juicy lives. Well, Arlinda tells Ari, you gotta photograph this girl from Detroit. She means me. And I think, wow, this is cool. He starts to follow me on Instagram, and it's kind of nice to know that somebody you admire really likes what you do. So I get an idea that I want to invite Ari to Detroit. Just kind of making a game, playing around. And I think of a couple of people that I know or I believe that fits what he does or what he's interested in. And Marcia Philpott and Miss Sylvia come to mind. So I sent him a couple pictures of them. And, he's not asking me to do any of this. I'm just doing it. And I feel like I'm planting seeds. And maybe some of it'll take. Well, I'm in conversation with Ari, and he tells me he's working on another book. And it's going to be with couples, older, snazzy couples. And I'm like, oh, Marcia and her husband David would be perfect. So Ari does decide to come to Detroit, which is kind of cool, and he wants to connect with Marcia. So I get to Marcia, and I say, Marcia, Ari's coming to Detroit, and he wants to know if you are interested in being photographed, you and your husband, for his next book. Now, I know this isn't a real question because Marcia is so into this. This is so Marcia. And I think it was December of 2017, Ari does come to Detroit, and he photographs Marcia Philpott and her husband David Philpott, and Miss Sylvia and her husband John Scott. Well, Ari and I talk, and he's really interested in photographing me for his blog, but he tells me, you're too young. I'm like, seriously, dude? And I think it's funny, but I'm 58, and he says he likes his ladies to be at least 60. And, I get it. It's his brand, Marcia and David Philpott and Sylvia and John Scott do actually make the cut for the editing process to appear in Ari's book, Advanced Love. So that book is out and it is available. And if you happen to have it in your hand, and you flip to the back where the acknowledgments are, you'll see my name. And I think, what? I had something to do with the way this book has turned out. Because I was playing this game, two couples from the city of Detroit are in Ari's book. I was thinking, when I was in middle school, like 7th grade, and 40 was so far away, and I'd be so old. And then 50 came, and I feel like I'm just getting started. As for Ari and his blog, yeah, he changes his rules, and I appear in it not once but twice. And I'm not 60 yet. And I want to tell Ari, I've got 40 more days. I think that as far as the 60 thing goes, which is just around the corner, that I think I'll be good. I think I'll be fine. Because I make the rules.
Allo Greer making the rules.